Well, if you've been watching the Western media over the past couple of weeks, no doubt you've been hearing a lot about these no-fly zones. You've been hearing a lot about what is the United States going to do? What are the United States' red lines in the war in Ukraine, right? Like, you know, if Putin does this, or when are we going to get involved? Like, come on, man, when are we going to get involved in this? And reporter after reporter after reporter from all of the major networks and newspapers, from the New York Times to the Atlantic to CBS News, NBC News, CNN, they've all been in the White House briefing room, and they have been asking these questions. When are we going to get involved? When are we going to send them arms? When are we going to enact a no-fly zone? Watch.
White House is the administration facilitated the transfer of S-300 anti-air missiles.
President Zelensky, in his remarks to Congress today, again made his request for a no-fly zone. He no doubt is aware of President Biden's position on that. Is there any scenario in which President Biden would change his mind?
Would a strike in Poland on supplies or anything really automatically be met with a forceful response, or simply a conversation amongst allies about how to respond?
I mean, just the constant, like, when are you guys going to do this? Here's my favorite one, though.
Enough talk, more action.
Here's my favorite one. This one's like, come on. And she asks it again, like, different shirt, different day, but like, come on. At what point do you guys just put this no-fly zone in place? Because we in the Western media, that's how we make our ratings. We make our money off of war. So please, please, please continue this thing.
You have noted from the podium that Putin has shown no signs of changing course. You've also noted that there are significant consequences that Putin could still face, even with this additional aid that you're providing today. It seems there are still other options on the table. So why hold back? Why not use every tool at your disposal now to spare additional lives?
Yeah, why hold back? Just put American aircraft over Ukraine so that we start World War III. I mean, look, by all intents and purposes, we are already there, right? We've been funneling all kinds of resources. We've been funneling all kinds of weapons into Ukraine as it is. We've been funneling fighters and you name it into Ukraine to fight on. But just in name only, can we just actually go to war? Can we finally just go to war?
Right, we want to see it.
I mean, even like, you have the Strike Carrier Group in the Mediterranean. They've been running 80 to 90 sorties a day. Those are where they launch the aircraft. They're doing to patrol those skies right now. This is what U.S. forces are doing off the USS Harry Truman this morning. Listen to here's.
No, that's Russian aircraft.
Oh, sorry, it's hard to tell them apart. But here is listen to what they're doing. This is U.S. Harry Truman sound.
In the NATO enhanced air policing mission, the Truman will launch aircraft from wherever we happen to be. They will transit across NATO countries, tank with Air Force or NATO airborne tankers, and then man stations on the eastern flank of NATO to help enforce the borders and reassure our partners and allies in the region. The aircraft, when they go, are performing a NATO mission. It is minimally different. There are very slight changes to the rules of engagement because we operate under NATO rules of engagement versus strictly U.S. rules of engagement, and that's about the only change.
So that's about the only change. So this, again, video from the USS Harry Truman over the weekend, 80 to 90 missions a day. They're flying right now along the borderlands right now, just to keep them in check. They're calling them deterrent missions to make sure that, Russia doesn't do anything inside Ukraine further, because we'll shoot them down.
But yes, they're armed, right? So they're prepared to. They're saying we don't follow strictly United States rules. We're following NATO rules, which are similar, sort of. So it's almost as if we haven't done a no-fly zone. We reserve the right to. We're practicing. We're flexing our muscles. When, again, just as recently as last week, the American people are only 35% in favor of any military involvement in the Russian-Ukraine conflict. But you wouldn't know it to watch the media, because the media seems so ready to bounce.
Yeah, when are you guys going to go? Like, seriously, we're really hoping you guys are going to do this soon. Like, she's reading off of her notes. Like, she wrote this like last night. Watch.
You have noted from the podium that Putin has shown no signs of changing course. You've also noted that there are significant consequences that Putin could still face, even with this additional aid that you're providing today. It seems there are still other options on the table. So why hold back? Why not use every tool at your disposal now to spare additional?
Yeah. Why not use every tool to get us into this war? Please, please, we really want this. Where is the discussion about peace at all? No, like none of these reporters are asking about peace. They're not asking about peace talks. They're not asking about like de-escalating this. That's because all of these networks and newspapers they have their reporters there. They make so much money off of this. Their ratings are through the roof now. CNN's ratings were in the toilet.
Yes.
Not anymore. Why? Because people tune in to see what the hell's happening in this war. And if there's no war, then your ratings go right back in the toilet.
Yeah, like why don't we have like a peaceful industrial complex? Like that's just not something that like
you can't raise money on that.
I mean, it used to be called the War Department, and then they changed it to the Defense Department, right? The Department of Defense, but that's laughable, right? I mean, like this idea that we're just waiting, we're sitting back, we're playing defense. It's the offensive department is exactly what it is. And all you need to do, if you go to these websites, if you go to like the NewYorkTimes.com, you see these huge headlines now. They've instead of having like the small little headlines, they've got the full website is taken up. Ukraine refuses Russia's demand to surrender. Huge headlines across all of these major newspapers, Washington Post, a Wall Street Journal. They're all doing this huge, we love war headlines.
Yes. Yeah. That's all I have to say about this.
Okay.
I don't know what to
Thank you.
say. You're welcome.
If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, we have a membership program. For the price of a cup of coffee once a month, you can support independent journalism just by going to morninginvest.com/join.
You get access to exclusive videos, plus the ability to join and chat with us live. We really appreciate your subscription, and you are supporting independent journalism.